Hello class, today we are going to have a special lesson on DC Universe Classics, Azrael Batman, who's from Wave 16, and he's figure number 6? There we go. So I guess that'd make him the last one? Yep, anyways. So we're going to look at Azbats here in his package. We can see he's all kind of robotic and, well, he's not, I don't want to say cybernetic, because I think he's just very heavily armored. But there he is, and again, on the background you see members of the Justice League, most prominently Batman, Flash. I think that's Hal Jordan. Yeah. Aquaman. Up top there's Superman, and actually I couldn't see it before, but there are other images of other DCU characters in the background. I just can't tell who they all are right now. I think that's Fire. Red Tornado's over there. That looks like John Jones. Wonder Woman. There's another Green Lantern, so that's probably Kyle Rayner. Firestorm. Yeah. I can't tell who that is. I can't tell who that is either. So there's a whole bunch of them. Ooh, there's some on the inside too.
Get on with it!
Shut up. So anyways, whoa, focus. There we go, well, that's a little better. So there we have him. If we look more at the figure, or at the package right now, we see it does include a collect and connect piece. I'm gonna gripe about that so long. Just call it a flippin' Build-A-Figure. Has a right leg, kind of see in there. And the other figures in the set, if we look at the back here, we got Jonah Hex, who I'm really looking forward to. The Creeper, the Riddler, Robin, there's 2 of them, Mercury, and Azrael Batman. Oh wait, that's him there. Anyways. And all these guys, we put together all the pieces and we get Bane. Now, it makes me wonder, did they decide to do a kind of a Batman-themed set and then make Bane the villain? Or did they say, you know what, we need to build a figure of Bane, and then picked, you know, just Batman, a number of Batman-related characters to add in there, except for this guy. Anyways, it is kind of fitting that we have Azbats and Bane, because I think, well, I know Bane led to Azrael Batman kind of coming to be, right? This dude here, I'm having a hard time using the voice to say the name. He broke Bruce Wayne's back, and then this dude took over as Batman instead of this dude. And, I'm sure we'll get into that in the bio. Anyways, there's a picture of Azrael Batman in his armored glory. And if we read a quick biography, we have Jean-Paul Valley. Does that make him French? Jean-Paul? Anyways, was trained from birth to become the assassin enforcer Azrael. While investigating his father's murder, he crossed paths with Batman and learned a better way to fight evil. When Bruce Wayne's spine was broken by Bane... Azrael stepped into the role of Batman. However, Azbat grew increasingly violent, forcing Wayne to battle back from his paralyzing injury and take down the frightening vigilante. Now, they use the word vigilante here. Frightening, actually, you know what? That's kind of hypocritical. Batman is a frightening vigilante, right? Seriously. He's, anyways. His first appearance as Azrael was Batman's Sword of Azrael, #1, in October 1992. So actually, when this happened, when the original Batman had his back broken, I could look up when it happened. I'm not going to. But it was sometime in the early to mid-90s, so really, Azrael hadn't been around that long before he took over. As Batman, there we go. It's right here. August 1993. This is probably 1 or 2 issues after Bane broke Batman's back, which I do have somewhere. It's probably in my parents' attic somewhere. His occupation is costume crime fighter. No, his occupation is frightening vigilante. His base of operations is the Batcave. His special abilities: he's trained, brainwashed, and genetically enhanced by the system. He's an expert fighter, bulletproof and flameproof armor. Trained and brainwashed. That's awesome. By the system. Not the man, not the government, the system. That sounds like Reboot, right? Because they were all from different systems. I liked Reboot. Anyways. I think that's a good enough look at the package for Azbats here. So what we're going to do is, I'm going to open this package, and we're going to look at this figure in all of his armored, enhanced glory. So, alright, we're back. And we are looking at Azbats, or Azrael Batman. Or for a while, he was just Batman. And we'll take a quick look at him here, and we'll talk about him a little bit more. So there he is. He's a product of, what, the early 90s, where you take a character and you know what would make him more awesome? Make him look more robotic. And yeah, so then we had Azbats. Because I think Azrael could have just kicked ass on his own in the bat cowl. But no, they decided to give him all sorts of superior tech and shit like that. So, talk about the color scheme. Now, I vaguely remember Azbats back in the day. I never liked the idea of them replacing Batman, so I didn't follow it too much. But we got lots of blue here on the funny wings and on his gauntlets, that little chest plate, and of course his head, which has got the bright red eyes. He kind of reminds me of Optimus Prime. Maybe he is kind of cooler than I thought. He's got that red thing on his head. I don't think that's a zit. I think that's supposed to be maybe a camera or something. I don't know. So we've got some gold detailing on the shoulders and his arms, and these little belt things, which I thought were bullet belts or, you know, those kind of things. But if we look on the back where they connect, there is no way that holds a whole bunch of bullets. So maybe it's like a power cable of some kind. I'm not sure. I don't really know. But maybe not bullets. But then it connects to something that looks like it would fire something. I don't know. At any rate. So a little bit of gold up here too on his neck guard. And then the rest of it, we've got kind of that silverish gray color. It's not too bad. Oh, we've got his belt is gold. And I need to just stop right there for a second. He's got the belt with the little pouches, because that's what Batman has, right? Look at his flippin' hands. They're the sharp, spiky, knifey Edward Scissorhand kind of deals to make him scarier. How the hell is he going to get into these little pouches on his belt? Hey, give me 2 seconds. I need to take off my gauntlet so I can answer my cell phone. It's retarded. Why do they even have that? He's a walking arsenal. I'm sure these little... Okay, I'll stop, but it's stupid. The other kind of thing that I think was just kind of a product of the times, you can make a character cooler by giving him all sorts of sharp bladey things that for no apparent reason, like the gauntlets. We've got the little spiky things out here, and I think these are supposed to be wings that are just large spikes on his shoulders, and the little spikes on his calves. The hell's up with that? Anyways, yeah, I know I'm going to kind of rip on this character a little bit. In terms of articulation, we lose some of it just from the mold of the figure. As you wouldn't be terribly surprised to see, the head doesn't move too much. I guess he's got this extra camera so he can see a little bit better, because his head doesn't move much at all. He's got like no vision, no way to turn. It does move up and down a little bit, but not a whole lot, and it's because of this piece here. The shoulders I expect would be a normal DC Universe classic kind of figure. But again, this whole harness thing he's got up top limits his range of motion. I wonder if anyone thought of that when they were designing this thing. The arm can rotate, but eventually we're going to run into an issue with this little belt thing, or whatever the hell it is, that attaches to his forearm. So we can only do so much there. I mean, we can wrap it around, which actually almost looks better in my opinion, but we'll fix that. And then the hands, we can move them a little bit. Fortunately, the plastic is soft for the gauntlet, so we can still move his hands a little bit. He's got that piece, or that joint in the upper torso, so we can adjust that forwards and backwards. His waist will still rotate. And the bottom, since his legs are more or less just DC Universe standard legs, they go back, forward, and out to the side. We can rotate here at the thigh. Now, for one of the larger figures, and again, I haven't quite sorted this out yet, he's got a double joint for his knee. And some of them do, and just some of them don't for this wave, and I haven't figured out why that is yet, but he does. And the foot, we can rotate, or sorry, we can bend there at the ankle, which is nice. So we're going to be able to pose him a decent bit. Now, as you might suspect with this figure, the whole, he's very top heavy. I mean, you just look at all this extra crap here, and I think these are supposed to be his wings, but I don't know, he's very, very top heavy, and I find the joints for his lower half are a little bit loose, so it will make him a little bit difficult to stand up properly. Whoa, see, there he goes. We stand him actually just straight up. Since the weight is almost directly on top, if you just stand him straight up, he will stand up decently well that way, which is kind of nice, but who the hell wants to do that for any length of time? Oh, something else I want to point out. Now, one of the Azrael figures I've seen more recently from, was it Battle for the Cowl, when Batman was dead and they had an Azrael figure, he had the chainmail, and it looks like he's got chainmail underneath the heavier plating on his arms. I don't know how well that my camera is going to pick that up, or be able to focus on it, but he does have that, and that's kind of a neat touch. I like the fact that they have that, because I think Azrael has that chainmail thing going on, and I like the fact that he's got that in kind of the weak points in his armor. Altogether, not too bad. Now, as with all the other figures in this wave, our good friend Azbat here does come with a piece of Bane, and he comes with a leg, and it's actually kind of like it's just basically tight pants with like a military boot. Now, if we hold it up to Batman here, we can see that actually, you know what? He's not gonna. It's not that much taller, a little bit as he should be, but it's not ridiculously huge either. But we can see how big Bane is probably going to be when he's done. There's no other accessories for Azrael Batman, which is kind of nice. He doesn't really need them, and let's face it, how the hell would he hold on to them anyway? Look at the hands. He does lose a little bit in posability, but I have to admit, he does have character, and I do kind of like the fact that they tossed this figure in. Let's face it, the line is kind of a more or less a Batman-themed line, and they've done so many other Batman figures already. It's nice that they use this slightly more obscure one from Batman's history when he had his back broken. And it is nice that they use the Azrael Batman, because I think one of the first things he does, now I'm not 100% sure, I'm not going to go look on Wiki, I'm not going to do research, I think one of the first things he does is goes and kicks Bane's ass, doesn't he? As retribution or something? Ah, whatever, I'm not too sure. I think he did though. Ah well. At any rate, the figure itself, it's actually surprisingly nice. I think it's kind of just a real sign of what the times were for comics in general, just the whole big spiky things and cybernetics, robotics, and DC's thing where we have to take all of our major characters and significantly alter them in some way. Now DC's done that for a long time with different characters, Flash and Green Lantern, but let's face it, they did it with Superman, and then hey, let's do it to Batman, and then well, now they're kind of doing it again with Batman, so I guess maybe the timing for this figure is pretty good. At any rate, if I was going to give this figure a grade, you know what? I think he's going to get an A-. The belt is stupid, but maybe that's just part of the character design. But I do like this figure. I rate it higher, but the legs, there's just nothing to them. Now, I don't remember if this look for Azbat's, there was any more to his legs than just gray tights. But just the amount of detail on the wings and all the other bits that he has on him is excellent. It looks really, really good. It's kind of growing on me a little bit too, just kind of the hokiness of it. I can't remember if this allowed him to fly around. Look at these, like, why are these jagged? I wonder if these are supposed to be sharp. But we probably can't have that because the stupid little kids will hurt themselves. But I think that is actually very good. I'm starting to like this figure more and more the more I look at it. So I think that is going to be our look at Azrael Batman from DC Universe Classics Wave 16 to help us build Bane. Thank you very much. Class is dismissed.